Congratulations on your decision to apply to have your concrete soaring and drilling skills and knowledge recognised against the course in concrete soaring and drilling. This video will assist you with your application, explain the RPL assessment process, and talk about evidence you'll need to provide. What is RPL, or recognition of prior learning? RPL allows you to seek recognition of any relevant work and life experiences and learning or completed formal training to meet the outcomes of the course in concrete, soaring and drilling. You'll be required to undertake an assessment in your workplace to determine that you have the skills and knowledge required by the course in concrete, soaring and drilling. The course requires you to demonstrate your competency in 5 core units and 2 elective units. These units are listed in the RPL Candidate Guide. To apply for RPL, contact Wodonga Tafe and request the RPL information and the Candidate Information Form. You can contact them by phone or email. When you receive the Candidate Information Form, fill it in. All information, including your application, is confidential. Let's go through this form so you're clear about what to include. You might like to complete the form as you watch this video and pause the video as you complete each section. On page 1, include your personal details, name, address, etc. The next section on page 2 asks you to fill in your job details, how long you've been with your employer, your employer's name, and the types of things you do in your job. If you have a CV or resume, attach it here. Your job role might involve you working on a couple of soaring systems, such as wire and flat saw. Put all these types of concrete soaring and drilling work you do into this section. Now let's look at your previous employment. Think about other paid or unpaid concrete soaring and drilling or construction industry jobs you've had. Maybe you've worked for a hire company, demonstrating equipment use, or selling diamond saws, for example. Unpaid work might be working as a safety officer or as a volunteer firefighter. Now have a think about your non-work life experiences that might be appropriate. Things like volunteering for the local football or sporting club as a secretary or coach will support your communication, coaching, mentoring, and literacy skills. Experience as a St. John's ambulance worker would demonstrate first aid knowledge. On page 3, list any qualifications, statements of attainment, workplace training or other awards you have from an educational provider such as a TAFE, a registered training organisation, or a trade union. Examples might be a Certificate 1 in construction, Certificate 3 in concreting, a health and safety reps course, construction induction, white card, first aid or high-risk course. On the form, name the qualification or course, where it was completed and the year it was awarded. Attach a certified copy of each of these to this application form. You may have other information to support your RPL application, such as a letter of support from your supervisor or boss describing your work and length of employment, a current CV or resume, or a copy of your job description. Lastly, don't forget to sign and date your form and then post off or email to Wodonga Tafe. Now you have completed your application, let's look at an overview of what's involved in the RPL assessment process. The steps are also outlined in your RPL Candidate Guide. The initial interview is a planning interview and a chance to discuss with your assessor the information and documents you have provided with your application. Your assessor will also help you to select your elective units and develop an RPL assessment plan. It is important to prepare for this interview by thinking about your experience, skills, knowledge, and work roles. You'll be asked to complete a self-evaluation form for each unit after this interview. This form gives examples of evidence that you might provide showing you are able to do tasks competently. We'll talk about what this evidence might look like later in this video. Step 2 will be a number of competency conversations related to the core units and the electives you've chosen. Prepare for these competency conversations by thinking about your work roles and skills in relation to each unit. You can also provide your assessor with direct evidence. Step 3 may require you to do 1 or more practical tests, depending on the feedback provided to you by the assessor. The assessor will give you details of the task and they will normally be carried out in your workplace. Step 4, your assessor may ask your workplace representative to provide a third-party report to verify you have particular skills and knowledge. Once you have received feedback from your assessor and signed the required documents, that's the end of the process. Remember to read your candidate guide if you are unsure of anything, or be in touch with Wodonga Tafe or your assessor. We now look at examples of evidence that you may choose to provide to your assessor to demonstrate your competence. You'll gather this evidence when completing your self-evaluation for each unit. We will use the unit "Operate a flat saw to cut concrete and asphalt" as an example. The evidence you'll provide the assessor should include a video of you conducting all aspects of a flat sawing task, such as preparing for the task and marking the cut line, fastening the diamond blade, starting up and flat sawing, cleaning up and any other tasks related to a flat sawing job. Your video must now show you conducting a flat sawing job while wearing correct PPE. You might also include a copy of the manufacturer's operating instructions for the flat saw being used and a copy of the flat sawing swims for the worksite. You should now have an understanding of how to complete your application, the RPL process, what you need to do, and the types of evidence you might submit to demonstrate your competency. On completion of the course requirements, an ID card will be issued to you by the CSDAA. It will list the units you have completed. If only a few units are gained, the ID card will list these units. The ID card can be used across Australia. It will provide to employers proof of your skills and knowledge in the units completed.